Ooh, and I have some hats here.
Oh, please.
I have a...
Oh, good.
And for Zuckerclaus, I have a special black hat. A black Santa hat.
The Krampus hat.
Yeah.
If you think this far up, it does look like one of those really orthodox hats.
As if the sun... It is if the sun...
Do that to the camera, Zuckerman.
I must get home. The sun has gone down. I can't be doing this anymore.
Merry Christmas and welcome to Spike's Car Radio. You know, I realized my error here in inviting Max Greenfield and Paul Zuckerman to my Spike's Car Radio Christmas show. But yet, here you are. Merry Christmas, gentlemen.
Oh, I love Christmas.
You do.
Always been happy. Happy childhood memories of Christmas.
Max is different.
Can we just put a menorah here?
Yeah.
If we had one, we would put it here. But this is, I'm excited to have you on the show. Christmas or not, it's Christmas Day on YouTube. People say this is one of the bigger days on YouTube. There's Thanksgiving, but Christmas.
Is that true?
Isn't that right, Cameron? Everybody is so bored of their families and just does not want to talk to that family member. You know who I'm talking about. So they're all on their phones on YouTube, and they said, why don't we do a special holiday show, Christmas show? And I said, well, you know what? Max Greenfield just called me up looking for tires. And, you know, keep in mind, celebrities, if you call me for advice or you call me to get something, you're going to end up right where Max is.
I know. I don't have any tires either.
No.
No tires.
But,
I'm just
but
here.
what was it? It was, I was in La Quinta. And I meant to send you this, Cameron, this shot, but it's on Instagram. And I took this shot inside a garage of my Ford Bronco.
Yeah.
With the mountains in the back and the sun rising. And you texted, he goes, "This is how do I get tires like that for my 4Runner?"
I've been unhappy with my tires, and I need new tires. And I don't want to go too crazy where it looks like a monster truck, but I want some tires that look like, oh, this guy drives outside.
I'm going to send this photo.
I was unhappy with my tires.
I'm going to send this photo to you, Cameron. Well, we can all...
I like that I'm the nerd of this situation.
I'm unhappy with my tires.
I just bought a 79th car. It's a BMW.
But did you, and you said, what size are those? And they're like big balloon 35s. You know, they're giant. Can you, but I wanted to, you know, I didn't have time to counsel you and go, I'm not sure those are going to fit on your 4Runner. Did you look into it?
No, I'm going to call the guy that you told me. Yeah. Those are good looking tires. I mean, I don't know anything about tires, but I recently took my car in. They said the treads are low on the tires, and I'm like, maybe I should just get some new ones. But if I'm going to get new ones, I don't want to just put on whatever they give me. I want to put on some real good. I want to get some nice tires.
You can't believe that guy.
Well, I'm not going to believe
that guy at the store that tells you your treads are low.
But I'm looking at them; they do look low, and I want to get some cool looking tires.
Okay, hook them up, Spike.
And where did we send you? We did. We sent you to...
You just sent me a number. You said, call this guy.
Which
seemed cool.
No, I sent you...
Pulp Fiction.
Call this guy.
Does he look like Harvey Keitel shows up?
Yeah.
I sent him to... I said, call Zip Tire. Zip Tire's great. Just tell them what you're looking for. They'll figure it out, and they come to your driveway, and they put it on. Are you still driving that old 4Runner, the same one?
Yeah.
You said you were going to start maybe collecting them.
Well, I like to look at them. I haven't started collecting them yet, but I like my 21 Trail Edition 4Runner.
Okay,
love it. Have never loved a car more.
Do you ever off road it? Have you ever taken it off road?
No, it's not for me.
No,
I'm too scared. I'm gonna flip it. Although it looks like it could go.
Here's the good news: when you put giant tires on it, you can be more scared you're gonna.
Yeah, no. Look, I've gone into places and people have noticed it outside, and they're like, "Hey, man, you off road that thing?" And I go, "No, I do not." And they look at me kind of funny, like, "Why? It looks like a car that goes off road." And I go, "That's not my thing. I like to drive it nice and easy. Gets me from A to B, and there's nothing complicated in it."
I get a little precious about my vehicles, as Zuckerman will attest. And I had my 4Runner out there, and we were going to ride motorcycles out by the Imperial Dunes and do some guy stuff. And the boys were like, let's off-road the truck after. And I said, okay. And, you know, you're beating on that thing. Suddenly I'm hitting trees with the side. I'm like, oh, my paint. And they're laughing and having a good time. Look, he's still smiling over there. But for me, it was just painful. It was like I'd have to off-road something, either another manufacturer's car, which I've done. I've driven those Ford Broncos and those Land Rover, their cars, and scratched them up and been fine with that. But mine, I just don't want to do it.
You don't off-road your own money. You off-road somebody else's money.
You know, we've had the same issue with racing.
You expand on that.
We've had the same issue with racing, right, Zuckerman?
Yeah.
I mean, we've been out on the track. You know, it's either manufacturer cars or Jerry's cars. Those are the best.
I think it's time to do that again.
You don't want to crash Jerry's car.
You don't want to crash our car. No, you don't. No, you don't.
Have you ever crashed one of Jerry's cars?
I've been in a spin in Jerry's car where I was a passenger.
Who was driving?
The professional who was showing me around the track, who failed to let the tires warm up in turn 1 at Willow. Even I was going, geez, you're coming in hot.
Low tread.
And you know what was great? He disappeared. Like, remember that old Twilight Zone under the cornfield? That guy was
fell down the hill
that
like
guy.
Leno.
I heard
We've never seen him again.
Jerry said something to somebody. It was like a whisper, and that guy, I don't know where he went. And you know, Willow Springs is out in the middle of nowhere, and he was just he just wasn't there. He just was gone.
Yeah. And that was what? That was a 4.0 cup car.
Yeah.
With a broomstick shifter.
Oh, what a car!
And it had no miles on it. In a Brumos, I think, livery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of
Sell
11
it!
cars. Yep.
And also the car disappeared.
Yeah.
Like 6 months later. You're selling that car? It's gone.
My favorite thing that Jerry said to me once, I asked him, because he had at some point was like driving a different car to set
Every day.
most days.
Yep.
And I said, how do you come across these cars? And he goes, oh, here, guys. And I go, what does that mean? They call you? And he goes, yeah, you know, the number pops up on the phone. And I go, okay. I said, when your phone rings, when it vibrates, whatever, and you look down at your phone and you see that it's the number of one of those guys on a scale of whatever, how excited do you get? And he just stopped. I'll never forget it. Like, everything's just like sort of paused, and he went, you have no idea.
Very true.
Got it.
Yeah, we love these things. Anyway, we're here to talk to you, Max Greenfield.
Oh,
I want to catch up. You see.
We should talk about our Chip Ganassi story.
Oh, yeah, look at that. What is the story?
When we went to the racetrack.
Oh, the Long Beach Grand Prix.
Yes.
Yeah, we were promoting Unfrosted, and they put you in a race car to go around the track.
Spike was making fun of me the whole time. Were you puking? I got very nervous. I was like, hey, man, I'm excited to promote the movie, but, you know, this feels like...
It's a bad idea.
Well, it's just an embarrassing way to die.
Right.
I also like, is someone going to film this? Because that's going to be embarrassing. I don't like to drive fast. It was a whole thing. And you know what my takeaway was? Well, first of all, you were making fun of me in a real.
I wasn't making fun of
way.
you so much as I was reminding you that some of these crash and have crashed in the past. You always wait, Zuckerman, until the last minute, and then you say, you know, last year there were a couple of crashes, which there were.
I forget. Did you go around?
I went in a pace car this year.
Yeah, me too.
But I went with Mario Andretti the year before, and he lit it up. He goes, "Oh, I want you to be last, so the tires are hot," and it was something.
Did he take you in the pace car, or did he take you in the?
He took me in the 2-seater Indy car.
Oh yeah.
And it was lightning. It was a blur. I was so
at
impressed.
Long Beach.
Yeah,
That's a tricky course because you never get to a place where you can really open it up.
That's
but
right.
There's these turns that you
Yes.
go, this guy can't be making this turn.
It's an exercise in faith to be a passenger.
And
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I remember seeing is cracks in the road, cement barriers everywhere, very close to us, and then not much else. Like no anticipation of where we're going or turns. It's really something.
Well, my takeaway from the experience was I don't know how to drive a car.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't
Yeah.
like I don't know what these things are capable. I don't know what I'm doing. I just stick my key in or press the button and just, you know, put my foot on the gas
Yeah.
and drive around like an idiot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these guys really know how to handle this vehicle and
It's
understand how this works. Because we had one of the guy who was riding driving the car that I was in, he was down at the Porsche Experience. And so he was like, this is something he was just laughing and going around. And I'm
Just laughing.
and like we're going up to a turn and I go, he can't possibly. We're going way too fast. And he's just like, no, we're gonna do this. And he's just like walking me through it and then just whipping around. And
yeah.
honest to God, I was just like, I don't know how he did it.
That's all they do.
Well, I know, but it made me realize like I have no idea what I'm doing.
The first time I was in a press car was a Carrera GT, and I think it was Walter Roll. I think it was him, factory driver, and I had the same experience. I walked into that drive thinking I know what I'm doing. I can be a race car driver, and I came out of it saying and thinking the exact same thing. I am not anything close to what these guys can do.
The exercise he's talking about was a press launch, and they were going to drive 200 miles an hour, which they did do in the rain.
Yeah, on a runway.
On a runway.
It was, an old closed East Berlin Air Force base, complete with the communist paintings on the wall of...
on top of it.
What are those planes, Jack, that have the holes in the front? You know, the jets? The MiG? No, not the MiGs, the other ones.
Yeah,
Anyway.
they're MiGs, the ones that have
Yeah,
engines.
that's right. I guess they are the MiGs.
Yeah.
The MiGs. They had MiGs painted on the wall, but
now
with...
apologize to Jack.
Sorry, Jack. I apologize.
He knows nothing. They're the other ones. There's no other ones.
But that was just straight. And then they had these cones set up where they said, look, stay at 38 miles an hour going around the cones like a little autocross. Above or below, you're going to spin. And when you spin, you're not going to get it back. And that was true. We all spun, and no one could get the car back. A little insight into that car later on in life, Zuckerman.
Right.
And then they took us out into the woods where there was a 14 turn course where the tires are just screaming the whole time. Just screaming, and you are too. And Sasha Munson, I think, I forgive me if I get his name wrong. He took us around. Same way. Tires going, screeching in the woods, crows flying from the trees. And
Come into the woods with us, Cedric.
No, Zuckerman. We were...
how far
We made it 10 minutes
into the Christmas show. We were staying at Hitler's summer residence in the mountains.
Jerry.
Yeah, and we got to our rooms, and Jerry was like, "Oh, this is so weird. We're at Hitler's summer vacation house, drinking craft beers and having pretzels in the same place he was there." The
You
whole
desecrated it.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was still fun. Max, I don't know. You do so much stuff. When last we left you, you were doing Unfrosted. Then did you go do a season of The Neighborhood?
Probably.
Yeah.
One of them
at CBS.
We're in the middle. I think. Yeah, I don't remember when we did Unfrosted compared to where we are now.
I don't either, but I know it premiered in May.
Sure.
But you're on CBS. You're the star of one of their biggest shows with Cedric the Entertainer.
Yeah, he's got some cars.
I
You should
know.
have him over here. He'd love to come over.
You were texting me pictures of cars with him. What was that all about?
He's been borrowing cars from people and showing up to set, and we've been like, "Wait a minute, is this your car?" He goes, "No, I'm just trying it out." He's not a big Porsche guy, but he came to set with a Porsche one day. That's what I texted you, and I was like, "Is this any good?" And you were like, "It's all right."
What did I say about it? I actually remember saying something that caught your attention. I said, it looks like something customized by a group of hoodlums in North Hollywood.
Yeah, it was something. It was something like pretty, obviously racist.
It wasn't racist. It was not racist.
And I showed it to Cedric, and I was like, "This is what Spike thinks." And
Did he know? Did he get the reference?
No, he didn't.
When last time I was with Cedric, he brought me to West Coast Customs, where
that right?
I saw like cars just like that, and I knew exactly.
I know that's what you were like.
That's what I was referencing. Yeah, the West Coast Customs.
Whatever
guy.
the I don't know what they put the interior, whatever lining they put on the front seats.
They took a beautiful 911 and just fucked it up for $30,000, $40,000 more dollars. Compliments of West Coast Customs. They do good work over there. I don't mean to desecrate those guys, but you don't want to do that to Porsches. Did he like that car? I should have him on to talk about this.
I think he doesn't feel. I think he was like intrigued by it, but I don't think he's a full Porsche guy.
What does he drive to set?
He's got it rotates. He's got like an old Chevy that I think it's a Chevy. I'm not sure. That's all done up. What's the one? It's not the Kia, but it's the Genesis. He loves the Genesis. He's got a Genesis. Cool. And then I think he's got. think he's got a Maybach.
Yeah.
That's the newest
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
I like this notion of borrowing things, though. This
Yeah,
is
he's
good.
got some friends, and he's like, "Oh, let me go." Like they're out of town for a week, and he takes the car. He
This
brings
is
it in.
good.
He Cedric loves cars. He really loves them.
He bought his wife Lorna a G-Wagon, a nice one, and then he just started driving it to work every day. And I go, "Was that car for you or was it for your wife?" And he goes, "Come on, man."
He goes, I'm going to West Coast Customs Saturday morning. You want to go? I'm like, yeah, with you? That'll be really fun. We had such a good time.
That was when you were doing Car Matchmaker, right?
No, he and I were working on some failed pilot or something. You know?
You guys were doing something for a minute.
Yeah. We were writing about he had an idea, or maybe it was my idea. I don't remember.
Tashina's got a wild. Tashina Arnold, who plays Cedric's wife on the show. She's got a wild car. She got the electric Bentley, I think.
Yeah. You like that?
I don't. It's not for me, but I mean, it is. It's not a car. It's
I'm hearing
it's,
that they make money on this show.
This
What-
thing.
what,
is
are you
this-
kidding?
Well, she did Martin
Zuckerman.
forever, and then
These sitcom people. These sitcom people make
any
so
money on you?
much
She's been-
money, Zuckerman.
How much you got on you? Come on, Max. Let's get some cars. Come on.
all right, let's go. That should be a runner on the show.
What's that?
Like me buying my first nice car.
There's a bunch of these actors
Really?
that pretend
That
not
they're
to have
poor.
money. They want to be everymen. And, James Marsden is one of them.
Bateman
Yeah. Bateman is one of them.
and him.
Bateman's
And-
not. Bateman's out there.
No.
He's got real money.
Yeah. And they
But he drives a Prius.
they say these things.
Yeah.
Zuckerman.
Yeah.
He's got some things
You-
stashed
it's-
away.
But Max could sell you all day long. He could buy and sell you all day long.
Come on, Max.
See, how many seasons have you done?
7.
7
Just
seasons
7.
on a sitcom is big.
Look at him laughing. Look at Moneybags laughing. Go like this if you're grabbing Moneybags.
And Zuckerman.
No, because you're gonna turn. You have control over the edit on this show.
Zuckerman. That's not the only thing he does either.
That's not.
He's got look, wait, right here in my notes. He's got a new show
Like
with Mindy
raking leaves.
with Mindy Kaling, a second sitcom coming up with about basketball. Have you shot that yet?
We did shoot that.
Oh, so he's got all that money. How many episodes? How many episodes did you shoot?
I think we did 10 of them.
10. He gets paid per episode.
He just
That's
rakes
something.
the money.
He's
and
raking.
He's got Moneybags. And I remember, you remember when he couldn't catch nothing but a cold.
That's
he
right.
Was, he
Well, we're
was-
going to get to that. We have lots of questions, and you guys should prepare because everybody wants to know how you guys met. But I wanted to, I know you. It sounds like you don't want to talk about entertainment, but I just want to ask you. I did want to ask you about this Mindy Kaling
I'm
show.
happy to-
It
I'm
sounded
happy to-
it sounded good. When is it going to premiere? When are we going to see it? What is it about?
I think it comes out in February.
It's about the NBA.
It's basically about, I mean, sort of. It's Kate Hudson plays a version of Jeannie Buss. Jeannie Buss and Linda Rambis are both producers on the show.
Oh,
It's
fantastic!
loosely based on their relationship and their life, like running the Lakers. And Kate Hudson plays Jeannie. Kate's incredible.
I'm really paying attention.
I
now.
play her Jewish fiance who's like, basketball. I'm gonna go play tennis. But the show's really good. Scott MacArthur's in it. Drew Tarver's in it. It's a really, really good cast.
Drew Tarver, another
Yeah.
unfrosted alum.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
We were shooting. I think we were shooting the show when the movie premiered,
I see.
and so I think.
Real money, Zuckerman.
Rubbing elbows. Look at those names.
Here, let me
So
ask you this.
proven every-
You were on New Girl, and they were just talking about it this week. Lamorne Morris.
Lamorne Morris.
Right. Recalls Max Greenfield telling him, and this is way back when you're doing New Girl. What is that, 2011?
Yeah,
It's over there. You do 7 seasons of New Girl, and it ends, and you lean in and you tell Lamorne, is that how he pronounces his name? Lamorne?
You can read. You know
It's
how
got,
to say
but
it.
it's got an R at Lamorne.
Lamorne. Yes.
Lamorne.
You just won an Emmy.
Am I being racist again? Is this the second time where I've been racist? It doesn't get better than this before the finale. Right before we were going to end, Max Greenfield pulls me to the side and he goes, regardless of whatever you're going to go on and do after this show, it doesn't get better than this. He was like, this is rare, so don't expect this. What we just went through for the last 7 years, it's not like that. Has it never gotten better than that at this point?
Come on, Max.
I mean, there's a couple times it's been really good. I being on Unfrosted, I was like, hey, I was wrong. Spike and Jerry just torturing me. I was like, oh.
But seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I think if I did say that, which I don't really remember, but I think, you get to it, as you get to an end of a run like that, and you understand sort of the significance of it, and having done 7 seasons like on a show like that, and seeing the way that it resonated with people, you go, this is it, man.
I can tell you're telling the truth, and that's because this show's in syndication where? Netflix? You must have new generations enjoying the show. People talk. I see it talked about like last week. People are still talking about it.
New Girl's a wild one because it got moved from Fox. Our sort of numbers dwindled because we started off huge.
Right.
It was at some point TV sort of turned into like movies,
right?
Where you'd have a weekend box office and you want to like be big on the opening weekend. So you would want to be big on your premiere as a TV show. But then what would happen is your ratings would dwindle, and the people on the network would be like, well, let's just keep trying to get back to that original number, and that was never possible,
right?
But I think season 3, Netflix was still sort of young and not really totally a thing yet. And they started dumping our seasons onto Netflix. And I think that's kind of saved our show a little bit.
Wow.
Not that I think that we were totally in danger of being canceled, but people really started to discover it on Netflix. And then over time, as it lived on there and they eventually put all the seasons on there, you would get a new group of college kids every year that would discover the show, watch all 140 episodes in a weekend, and be like, and have some sort of new relationship with us and the show. And you would be walking down the street and somebody would come up to you and be like, I watched all of them. And you'd be like, well, you've got to relax.
And they must ask you, like, what is Schmidt doing now?
Yeah, but that like continues to happen.
Right. Didn't you have a daughter in the show at the end?
Yeah.
What's her name? Olivia or Olive? Holly?
Something like
Can't remember. You don't even remember your own daughter's name.
Nobody knows. Okay, so how many seasons of television?
This is a money question.
Yeah. How many seasons of television have you done?
How many seasons?
Yeah, like how many seasons?
Well, I went from New Girl right into the neighborhood, so now it's 14.
And then you did some other thing. Now you just filmed something else at the same time.
Yes,
right?
he did.
Yeah.
So that's another 10?
Well, sure, yeah.
It's a 24?
What 24 what?
Seasons of TV?
No. That was 10 episodes. You want to know how many episodes?
Zuckerman, 130 episodes of New Girl by itself.
So
by itself. That's a lot. He gets paid per episode. Times 130 plus syndication.
This is like Jerry came over to the house once. Jerry came over to the house, and he did not know that I had ever done a single episode of TV. I just auditioned for the movie. And
hey, this guy's terrific. Who's he? Let's hire him. We're going to make him famous. I think he may have said that. We're going to make this guy Max famous. All right. That's all right. Good work. I guess we will.
So at some point, like I did like 2 consecutive weeks on the movie, and it was basically me and Amy Schumer the whole time.
Right.
And Amy and I really got along. We had a great time. Obviously, Jerry was directing us, and the 3 of us. It was just great. So that weekend, I said to Amy, hey, do you want to come over? I know you have the kid and your husband's in town. If you want to go swimming, the pool, we're just going to be hanging out. She's like, I'd love to. All right. So she comes over. We invited Sasha, Jerry's daughter. And Sasha calls me at some point and goes, hey, do you think it's okay if my dad comes? And I go,
who's your dad?
I go, yeah, sure. And so this was like that morning. And I'm going, he's never going to show. And at some point, I walk into the house and I look outside and I see like, a $7 million Porsche underneath a tree. And I go, oh my God, please, nothing fall off the tree. And then he starts walking up to the house and I go outside to meet him. And he goes, hey. And I was like, hey. And he goes, whose house is it? And we go, this is mine. And he goes, this is not Amy's? I go, no, it's not Amy's. And he goes, because Amy's, renting. She's staying here. I go, I know what Amy's doing. Jerry, this is my house. He goes, huh. And then we walked.
He's calculating.
We walked into the house and he just looks around and he goes, and by the way, it's like a fine house. He walks around and he's like this. The magic of network television. And I'm like, yes, I mean, you were on network.
You were on it.
You were on it.
They paved the way.
You for a long time.
Yes. I just saw it on Boardroom or somewhere that the Seinfeld actors ruined television for studios for decades. Let's talk about RaceDeck. Over 2 decades ago, RaceDeck was invented, a cost-effective, durable, and truly do-it-yourself modular floor system. It's in Zuckerman's garage right now.
Yes, sir.
RaceDeck is the original modular flooring system engineered for the garage with over 33 patents and proudly made in the USA, installs in just hours without toxic epoxy coatings or adhesive mess. It snaps together. Self-draining design allows for liquids to flow freely, just like Zuckerman's pants. Every cool garage starts from the ground up, and that starts with RaceDeck. Born out of a passion for garage life is RaceDeck. Our friend Jürgen Mahler, who's a Porsche guy, invented it, actually stole the technology from his wife, who was making dance floors, and said, the car guys need this. And now Zuckerman, he's got real money. He's loaded.
More than Max.
It's close.
It's hard to say.
He doesn't have 130 episodes, but it's pretty good. Anyway, check out RaceDeck. They manufacture 24/7, ship most orders within 48 hours. Shop at racedeck.com and use code SPIKE911 for exclusive 15% off and free shipping. That is racedeck.com. Use code SPIKE911 for an exclusive 15% off and free shipping. We have a very special car. Santa sent me something really nice to show you guys. And here it is, Porsche's 718 Spyder RS. Go ahead, Jack. Show us the front corner of that car. This car is excellent, Zuckerman. We just ordered one of these, Zuckerman.
What a beautiful car.
In a Ratium green.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I forgot to show that to you, Max.
What's a Ratium green? Can you describe that? Because I don't know what that
It's a non-metallic light green, a little lighter than the Christmas decorations we have here.
It's what your wife would refer to as Celadon green.
Celadon?
Yes, Celadon.
Really?
Yeah, kind of.
I hadn't driven this car yet. I was really excited and nervous to be driving it. We're recording a little earlier than the Christmas day that this show is airing. This is Friday the 13th. I was quite nervous about driving it on Friday the 13th, Zuckerman.
And?
I got here just fine. But another car that was on its way to be delivered to my house was smashed.
Really?
I sensed
That's
another
fantastic.
accident. Yeah. An Aston Martin.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is that right?
Yeah, I could feel it happening, and I thought it was going to be me again. Last time I felt that, Zuckerman crashed, and then I felt it again this morning.
A foreboding.
A foreboding. You go, Friday the 13th, it's not going to... And then I get a phone call, the car that was on the way to my house got in a little crash.
I happen to find Friday the 13th a lucky day.
Yeah, me too.
I've always been lucky on bad luck days.
Yeah, me too. Monday the 13th, forget it.
No.
Or is it
It's the Ides of March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the first ever Boxster base RS model. Open top experienced, enhanced further by large air scoops, reduced height, wider in the front track on the rear and front, Zuckerman, wider,
Okay.
manually adjustable tow camber ride height and the rest of it. 493 horsepower, 190 miles per hour top track speed. It's got a GT3 engine in it. It's a convertible Boxster with a GT3 engine. And it's a totally different engine than the 718 Spyder. 718 came in GT4.
This is a really good-looking car.
It's an amazing little thing. And, I took here's the deal with these things. I don't really have to tell you how it drives. It drives how it looks. It's absolute perfection. It's like the GT4 RS we had in that it's a much smaller driving experience. There isn't a lot of, as you say, Hazarai on the steering wheel. There's nothing. But it's just a car. You plug in your phone, you have some music, and you ride. And I had the top on until earlier today when I played a little tennis. And I decided after playing tennis, I would wrestle with the top and try to get it off. You know how these Spyders always have
contraption.
They have contraptions. And instead of making it easier, they kind of made it a little harder and added a few steps to it.
So weird.
It is weird, and I managed to pop it off without watching the video, and it stores right behind the seats there under the cowl, and it really wasn't that hard. But this is a car you're never going to put the top back up on. There's just no point, because if you wanted that coupe experience,
you would get it.
GT4 RS, right? You would do that.
Max, can you see yourself in this car?
No.
Take a look at the interior, Jack.
What were you listening to?
What do you mean, music wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that I let my Spotify AI DJ do it.
Well,
look at this interior. Why?
Did they know? Did they know where you were? What'd they put on for you?
The Spotify DJ.
Ooh, Zuckerman, I know you like. I know you
can't
the
tell.
mahogany.
Look at that.
Go around to the other side, Jack, so we can see the cockpit and the steering wheel from the other side. But look at all this carbon fiber. This is gentian blue, and this carbon fiber and gentian blue looks really good. All right, back it up.
The
There you go.
seats are
Ooh.
unlivable.
No, they're great.
They are
These are
unlivable.
so these are sports seats. So Zuckerman doesn't like them because it hurts his back.
I'm barrel body, so it doesn't. My barrel doesn't fit into that holster.
But shouldn't we get one more car next? There are 3 cars coming next year. All of them have these 18-way seats.
Yeah.
Wait, what's wrong with these seats?
They're preferred, but one of us doesn't prefer them.
Okay, they're preferred by.
Can I go sit in it?
Yeah,
go
go
ahead.
sit in it. This I want to see.
Yeah, go ahead over there.
This I want to see.
There, Max is heading on over to the car. And he's about to feel a sports seat. I think you're going to like it at first, but they're stiff, is what Zuckerman's saying.
No, it's the angle of the back. It's the camber and the adjustment, and then my shoulders just killing there.
Look over your left shoulder there. Oh, the other
one.
At the camera, numbnuts. There you go. Hey, there you are. You look good in that car.
He does look good.
Yeah. See, this is the If Max was like a Hollywood douchebag guy, he would buy this car with all of his money.
2 episodes, Ferrison. That's all we're talking about.
Are you kidding me?
Maybe 1.
This is half an episode.
Yeah,
This is nothing.
15 minutes of work.
Oh, he could buy 10 of these for 1 episode.
Set a timer. Let's see how long it takes for you to get out of the car.
Okay, go ahead. He's going to get out of the car, and he's going to. You think you're too old to get out of that car?
No, he doesn't know how to do it.
Look for the fabric pulls. Yeah.
And then the car falls apart.
Everything in it is lightweight, so they took off the metal door openers, and there you go.
If you really wanted
You
me,
did look good in that car, Max. That car looked great on you. Have you ever driven anything like that?
Honestly, my heart rate went up.
Do you want to drive
I'm so
that?
nervous.
No, thanks. It's not
Come
for
on, Greenfield.
Why is
You
he-
want to know my review of the seats?
Yeah.
I mean, if I was racing the car,
Yes.
I understand it
That's
because
what
it
they
keeps you right in there.
Exactly right.
Having said that, not for around town.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It can
is
be
brutal.
it can be brutal if you're dailying the car, yeah, for sure. But it depends on the car. Like in this car, I really like them, Zuckerman. What do we have? In the GT3 RS, I like the 18 ways. Those are great. I think in the touring, I think 18 ways are great. But in this car,
I wish I could give you my back for a day, and then you would realize that you don't prefer those seats in anything.
What seats do you like?
I like a comfortable seat.
What's the best seat that you have?
Actually, the best seat I have is in that BMW we're going to talk about, and it is a race bucket, but it's very comfortable. So it's wide. It's got the right angle. It doesn't hunch over your shoulders like.
Wait, so when you buy the car, did you know what seats they had in them?
I make mistakes. Unlike you, I'm impulsive. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about making money. I'm not worried about getting my series.
That's not what I asked you.
why don't we throw up the 718 Spyder I just sent you, Cameron?
I asked you about seats, and you went, "I'm not worried about making money or losing money."
You want to know what? Here, let me answer your question.
Thank you, Spike. Answer my question.
I spec the cars out. I do. He doesn't even care at this point. He's just like, make whatever you want. Send me some stuff. But I want a Baca Lounge seat. That's it. That's all I go. Hey, and slams the phone down. So I make these cars.
And the car comes. It's got
Then
a
I
narrow
curse at
seat.
him. You motherfucker! What the fuck is this? What is this shit?
Here's
I can't sit in this. My back.
Here's the one I built.
Oh yeah, this is the one.
That's
This is
the
one I asked
Auratium
to
Green.
see.
Yeah.
By the way,
he called this a BMW, by the way. Would you?
no, I didn't call it a BMW. I said, what about I said the green one. And then
That's
you pulled
nice.
up some old green thing. This is cool.
It's a tribute car in that it's a tribute to
Also-
Jerry Seinfeld's 356 Speedster that was tied up in a lawsuit.
The Carrera GT.
Carrera GT Speedster.
GT.
We decided to do a tribute car to that lawsuit car,
The Fugazi.
the
I mean,
Fugazi.
I have so many questions, but
But that's the same car. You're looking at the same car just in green. Isn't that a lovely shade of green?
is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
It's beautiful, right?
Does it have?
It's got the 18-way seats for Zuckerman.
I insisted on it. That's all he said. He says, how do you want to spec the car? I said, the only thing I want is seats I can sit in. I've wised up.
Yeah,
Instead of saying, just do what you want and then never driving the car. Never.
Okay, hold on. Is the seats the only thing that you chime in on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got great taste. He does this well. Look at this.
We're excited.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We only keep these cars for like 6 months, so we feel like we give birth to something beautiful that someone can then go on to own. Like the white and blue GT3 RS is on its way back to Florida right now, and someone will get
It
to.
is?
How long did you guys have that one?
We had that one since May or April, maybe.
Did it go back?
Yeah, it went back.
I don't care if I don't
Well,
care
so
about
that's-
losing
you
money
really-
or making money. The seats and
Yeah.
He loved that car. He whipped around in it.
I let you listen. He's working hard. He's good at this. He thinks a lot about this whole thing.
Is it hard to give the cars back?
Nah.
Sometimes the GT3 RS is hard for me. That car is outstanding.
You love that car.
I do love that car, but there's a 911 ST coming, and I've learned at this point the new thing.
So how long will you have the green car?
That's a year from now. We don't.
I know, and then until you get
it's hard to predict whether either of us will be alive at that point.
That's true.
So I don't even think about it. I don't even think about it.
I'm hoping that I die in one of these cars and partially decompose. And they have to feel me out. And in his car, he's got to pay a lease on something that's got dead guy juice in it.
Dead guy juice. There's a little bit of Zuckerman right
I
there.
smell Zuckerman.
Still a little bit of Zuckerman on the bucket seat.
By the way, if you do die, I mean, the way people always ask us about these shares, Plan Z's, like how the paperwork, there's nothing. If he does die, like I'm just making claims that, oh yeah, I have half that car, wait, and hoping his family doesn't take me to court.
After I die, I don't care. I just don't care anymore. It doesn't matter.
I have to tell you guys about this game-changing product I use before a night out with drinks. Excuse me. I call it pre-alcohol. Let's face it, after a night with drinks, I don't bounce back the next day like I used to, like you folks out there. And I have to make a choice. I can either have a great night or a great next day. That is until I found pre-alcohol. Look, I've got some of it right here. ZBiotics. Z, you tried this.
Yeah, I feel great.
And you feel great.
I feel great.
Did it help you have regular bowel movements?
Everything.
The whole deal. ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink alcohol, it gets converted into toxic byproduct in the gut. If this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. I see. Every time I have pre-alcohol before drinks, I notice a difference the next day. Don't you, Zuckerman?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's like without it, you feel it. But when you take ZBiotics pre-alcohol, it really works. And with the holiday season upon us, I know I'm going to be consuming a bit more alcohol than usual.
Eggnog.
So with pre-alcohol, I can stay on track and not let the season throw me off. Go to ZBiotics, named after you, right?
That's
Is that
right.
how they came up with
I
this?
was in the laboratory. I'm the PhD making the juice.
They said, take a little of
Genetically engineering.
something's wrong with this man's blood, the way he operates. Let's study it and put some prebiotics inside and see if we can fix it.
Like the fly.
And you've been, and I can tell you, he's felt great for, 27 years?
Yeah.
27 years? Yeah, I felt terrific for 21 years and 7 months and a few days. I've been great. Thanks to ZBiotics.
That's right.
There you go. Go to zbiotics.com/Spike911, learn more, and get 15% off your first order when you use Spike911 at checkout. ZBiotics is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, and it's not like drunks, to be unsatisfied. So I'm sure no one is going to ask for refunds. They'll refund your money, no questions asked. Remember to head to zbiotics.com/Spike911. Use code Spike911 at checkout for 15% off. Wow. Unbelievable. ZBiotics.
Did a good job with that.
The Pope gets his first electric Popemobile from Mercedes-Benz. Since it's our Christmas show, I thought we would touch on the Pope's austerity. Is the Pope really supposed to be spending money like this?
I thought he was supposed to be one of those little white Fiat Pandas with the bulletproof glass around him.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Here's a picture of the car. Do you have a picture of that car you can throw up? Here it is. There's also, I sent you a picture, Cameron. There it is. Look at this.
He's so happy in the wheelchair.
I'm a former Catholic. I know you guys aren't, but I was raised Catholic. But this stuff is starting to look weird to me because I remember in church in my small town in West Bridgewater, and they're collecting the money for the charities and everything else. And then this. There's the Pope with his new Mercedes. Doesn't it hit you wrong?
Everything about this picture hits me wrong. Listen, he's the Pope. He's God's representative on earth, and he's in a wheelchair. At least put him in a Pope throne. I mean, this looks pathetic. There he is. Can't they stand him up? Can't they do levitate him?
I mean, if that part doesn't bother me. It's just,
me.
He's in a wheelchair because he's infirmed. Look at Max. Max is like, look, I have a network television career here, Zuckerman. How good are your editors?
That's what I asked before.
Okay.
No, it's fine. You're doing great. Keep going.
But anyways, there it is.
You guys don't have a lot of Mercedes.
Why not a Rolls-Royce Spectre for the Pope? Spectre-mobile.
That'd be
Sounds a little sinister, doesn't it?
I don't know. Anyway, we'll move on. I can tell Max is very uncomfortable. Are you sure?
We need to end his career. He's been on TV too much.
Here's
Let's
another.
make this stop. It's got to stop.
Here's another story, Zuckerman. In New Mexico, Zuckerman, I wanted to ask you about this. There was a man awarded $412 million over a botched penile injection. I don't even know what this is. A national record-setting case. According to the complaint, the man was 66. He was complaining at this clinic about fatigue and weight loss, and they started injecting his penis. Do you know this case? You must know this case.
Of course I know.
And they said it all has to do with erectile dysfunction, and of course they've caused irreversible damage. What the hell happened there?
Okay, it's what there is for people who are overweight, have fatigue, have diabetes, have a lot of vascular issues, as
Yes.
I assume this guy had. If I'm reading the profile right, he's probably diabetic. He's got a raft of medical issues, and he can't achieve an erection.
But he didn't. It says this article. He didn't complain about that. He said I was just tired.
But yes, he was exactly. So there's medications that can be injected into the spongy tissue of the penis.
You don't seem surprised that they went right to the penis and not the arm or an IV.
For his fatigue, I
mean, usually you go to Starbucks for
hold
fatigue.
on. I'm not necessarily interested in whatever medical information you have. If I'm the client and I come into your office and I say, "It's very nice to meet you. I've had an issue where I complained that I was tired to the doctor. I just felt like I always fatigued. I was taking a nap in the middle of the day, and he said, "Oh well, we can inject your dick with this stuff," and and now all of a sudden here I am and nothing, and
I probably would have said to you, did you have a safe word like no with the doctor? Did you say stop? I don't want this. Anything to indicate. So I'm making assumptions, and I'm about what I know about the case. I also know a little bit about the case. So I'm telling you that the way that they framed it. So he did go into a health clinic, and as part of the health regimen, they also dealt with erectile dysfunction, and they took it further than he needed to go. And then they were giving him medications and injecting him, or he injected it. And yes, it was not done right, and he probably, you know, those painful 4-hour erections they talk about, where like if you've taken Viagra and you've had an erection that
Max,
lasts.
you know those?
I like that he had it. That they talk about.
That they talk about.
That we talk about.
So if you've had an erection
For 4 hours?
or more,
Sure.
you got a problem. You got a problem, and your junk is going to be junked, and it's really going to be damaged.
I would imagine.
So
Yeah.
would you say that is the most valuable part of the body to then injure for your business? Or
I would have
fingers,
thought
or-
an arm, a leg, or an eye. You know, I have to say this is an incredible verdict for something like this.
Yeah.
it is a record, and it is maybe the largest single body part verdict I've ever heard of.
Wow. Would you handle cases like that if someone in the audience is relating to this story and has been injected in the penis for, say, dizziness or something?
Generally, those don't
Would you
make
take
it.
that case?
Those generally don't make it through the intake department when somebody frames the issue that way.
This guy, he fell on a piece of rebar. Pierced him right through the scrotum, Spike. I'm going to get a summer house out of this.
He had a boner for 3.5 hours.
That's not going to do it. It's got to be more than 4.
I said, come see me in 45 minutes.
This guy was cross-eyed. He goes to the optometrist. He got it injected in the dick.
Made his eyes go the other way.
It's worth a fortune. Anyway, we should talk about cars. We have another car here to talk about. And here it is. Zuckerman, what is this BMW?
Right.
They call this the Batmobile, right?
Absolutely, yep.
And but what is it number-wise? I don't know much about BMWs.
Okay, so-
and year. What are we talking
Okay,
here?
this
70s?
is a 1974
Right.
BMW 3.0 CSL. It is, the internal designation is E9. And in the early 70s, Porsche and BMW were locked in competition in various manufacturers, group racing. And Bob Lutz, who later became CEO of General Motors, he was with BMW. And he said the only way to beat Porsche is to lighten this 3.0 CS, maybe punch the engine out a little bit. They punched it out to 3.2 from 3 liters. And they put some aerodynamic effects on it, like the wing in the back. And there's a little spoiler over the back hood.
Yeah, show us that wing, Jack. I've never seen a wing like this. Look at that.
So there's basically 2 series of these cars. The Series 1 version only had 2 uprights, one on either side of the wing.
Right.
And then the Series 3, of which there's 57, has the middle upright, the third one. It's 400 pounds lighter than the CSI, which is the luxury version. And this car was sold brand new in Colombia. I've told the story before. A man walked into the BMW distributor in Bogota in 1973, and they didn't have any photographs of the car, but they
Right.
had a price list. And the price list indicated this was the most expensive car. And the man interpreted the L in CSL as luxury, not lightweight. So he gave his money, and 9 months later, this car in this form arrived in Bogota, Colombia. Only one sold in the Americas. And he was outraged, and his wife said, I'm not getting in that thing. What in God's name is this car? And they had the dealership strip the wings, strip the interior, and they put in a CSL interior, and it was painted black. And it was lost until 2015.
when it ended up at Mint Classics, right?
Right, but it got to Mint in 2018. What happened is, over the years in Colombia, it traded hands a couple of times. And Colombia has interesting paperwork. If you want to change the color of your vehicle, you actually have to get a permit from their Department of Motor Vehicles.
Wow.
So there's a little file of work. It went from red, it went from black to red, and then to a pastel yellow. And in 2015, it was parked on the street outside of a mechanic shop. And somebody down there who was a member of the BMW club noticed this car and noticed that it didn't appear that the back windows, those little small back windows, went down, which they do go down in the regular version.
Right.
They appeared fixed. he asked the people at the mechanic shop, "Hey, what's the deal with that car?" And they said, "It's a weird car. It's all full of aluminum," and which is
That's
opposed
good
to
news.
steel,
Yeah,
right.
lighter.
And so this fellow down there went and got a magnet because magnet will stick to steel, but not to aluminum. And sure enough, there's aluminum panels all over the car.
That's
and
exciting.
you felt the roof of this car.
Yeah,
It's like Reynolds wrap.
Yeah.
And so
You got a race car when it's aluminum. You got a race car.
Aluminum is much, much lighter than steel. It's strong, but it's lighter.
I've been listening.
Yeah. I want tires. But what are tires? I don't understand.
Open the car inside and show us a
Yeah.
little of this interior, Zuckerman. Look at this car. 1970. What'd you say?
74.
Yeah. Wow. What a beautiful interior. Look at that steering wheel.
That's an original Petrie steering wheel that's leather wrapped. Inside has Sheila buckets.
Yeah, those look like sports seats now.
Yeah. They're sports seats. And they're
So why are these sports seats okay?
I wish I knew the answer. These are great, and these are great, and I think that the Porsche guys should go and look at these and use these seats. These are fantastic.
Are they Recaro or are they?
No, they're Shield.
They're Shield.
They're Shield.
They do look like old ST
Absolutely.
seats. The
Yeah.
old ST,
Yeah.
right?
They are probably.
Yeah, and those are very, very comfortable. But you're right. Yeah, why can't we have a seat
yeah.
like that in modern cars?
And so it's.
Do you wear the lap belts? Do you wear the shoulder? Do you wear all that? Or
I
just throw
comply
lap
with the
on?
law as much as I can. And
Autoflug. There it is.
yeah.
Wow, that's
Those
gorgeous.
and Jack, you can show where those pick up in the back seat. What the point that those go to.
Right onto the
Yeah.
floor. Yeah, real race car there.
Their old race car. So in 2018, Felipe Garcia at Mint Classics managed to convince the owner of the car to sell the car to him. He had been collecting parts for these cars with the hopes of restoring a great one for himself.
Yep.
And so he actually had all the parts, all original parts for this car. And he undertook a 4-year plus, no, it was almost a 6-year restoration on this car to bring it back to original specification. And as he was finishing, he found the absolute unicorn CSL. He was going to keep this car for himself. And then he came across Bob Lutz's personal CSL. And it was the only one painted in black, and it was the only street version that had the box fenders that the race car had. So Felipe graciously released this car to me, and I graciously released a lot of money to him.
How much time is it going to be before you get the other Lutz car?
One of these.
Both of them are coming your way.
No. This is one of these. One of these is enough. This is the 73 RS of this car is such perfect stablemates.
I moved it around. It's a little heavy to drive, but that's 74. To me, the 73 911 RS is a much easier.
What does the other Lutz one have that this one doesn't?
The Lutz one has box fenders, his personal car. So instead of those little metal fender lips outside the car?
Yeah.
That's so on a race version, if you were to Google a race CSL, or if we can bring it up, you will see that for racing, they have wider tires. So they had to cut the fenders wider and put box fenders on them. And Spike, it's got I think what's known as worm insectus theory, and the engine's over the front wheel. So unlike a 73 RS, which is very light in the front, the only way that you can move this is to have be under power. You have to be rolling. If you try to turn the wheel at a dead stop, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. This is too advanced for me. I'm a new BMW fan. I'm still at the very beginnings of my love of BMW.
We're going to take this out, and when you drive this, to drive a 73 RS and then this front to back is to kind of be blown away at
we should do that
at this little competition that was going on.
We should film that. You and I will get in those cars and drive around. That'll be fun.
Max, did you understand anything we just
said?
Yeah, you made me feel like an idiot when you go, aluminum's lighter than steel.
Did I make you feel? Who made who feel that way?
After you were like this, the L was not for luxury; it was for lightweight. But he didn't know that.
Like you.
And then I listened to the story, and he goes like this: just so you know, aluminum.
We're very inclusive here at Spike's Car Radio, and really, none of us know what we're talking about.
Teasing is a sign of affection, man.
That's
If
right.
I'm teasing you,
It wasn't teasing. It wasn't.
if I'm making you feel stupid, that's because I like you.
Today's Christmas episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. You know what I love about the holidays? My favorite part of the holidays. How do you guys stay cozy during the winter months? For some, wrapping up in a blanket with a mug of hot chocolate, watching a movie with family is the best way to spend the month of December. Therapy is a great way to bring yourself some comfort that never goes away. Where is he going? Jack, you can come back. We're all done there. We lost Max, but that's okay.
He'll be back.
He'll be back.
He's missing the therapy announcement, which he needs.
Therapy is a great way to bring yourself some comfort that never goes away, even when the season changes. If you benefited from therapy, feel free to share your experience, it says, Zuckerman.
You should have seen me before.
That's all. That's all.
It was, oof.
It was not good.
It was not good.
You were under bridges, right?
I was out of my mind, raving.
If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. You know, you got a new year. It's a good time to do it. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. BetterHelp is here for you. Find comfort this December with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/spike911 today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/spike911. BetterHelp. All right, we have questions. Let's do one or two questions for you. I feel you're such a big star, and I feel like we've talked about cars and insulted your knowledge of aluminum. But there's some fans that have questions, and we'll do our special holiday, Dear Zuckerman.
Are we going to have the story?
Or
too?
actually, it's Dear Zuckerclaus. And then, there's that story, too. I don't know if we have time for all this stuff. But yes, maybe we'll end the show with Zuckerman's favorite Christmas story from my brother Wally, who sent it to us on video. And I think you've never heard the story, so you'll appreciate it.
I'm ready for it.
You are.
Bradley Wenzel, aerial photography extraordinaire. Guy shoots planes. He's unbelievable. Max, would you ever consider cloth seats in a 4Runner?
I have cloth seats before.
There you go. That question.
I actually don't like leather seats. I'm out on leather seats.
Tell me why.
I've had leather seats, and I got the kids and the dogs and the whole thing, and once the leather seats go,
yeah, they go.
They go.
Yeah.
And the cloth seats that I've had in the 4Runner they look brand new and have looked brand new since. They're amazing.
You have to take care of them.
Yeah.
But if you come home from the gym just once and you sit on those seats all sweaty and then leave your car in the sun, it's over. It's over.
Not in the 4Runner, man. This thing is
Cloth seats.
the best.
Yeah, I meant leather. That's what I was talking about.
The leather. Yeah.
Christian Godby says New Girl had quite a few cameos. What actor, actress, or other personality do you wish had been cast on the show? Who never made it to the show that you wanted on New Girl?
Oh man, I don't know.
What about me?
Zuckerman would have been good on the show.
Yeah.
The landlord.
Did you do a lot of cameos on that show?
I don't know that we did a lot of cameos, but we had a lot of guest stars on the show who were well-known actors. And that was honestly like the most. I don't know if you had this on Seinfeld, but when you had people come in for like good guest star roles, like you did Soup Nazi, and it was like having those.
But no, we cast pretty much everyone. We didn't really do cameos.
It was not. I mean, not. But I'm saying we didn't really do cameos either.
Right.
But getting a good actor to come in and play a role that actually had weight to it.
Yeah.
Outside of your main four people, those were always the most fun because it was something new and fresh. And when it worked, you were like, "Oh, this is the best."
Can you think of someone you really loved having in there?
Oh my God! So many people. Natasha Lyonne came on first season, did a couple episodes. She was the best. I remember Linda Cardellini did a couple episodes. She was incredible. Rob Riggle, Nick Kroll. I mean, we had so many. Tom Lennon came in.
Oh,
everybody was the best.
Yeah.
We had so many great people.
You're one of those guys on set, though. You're the fun guy on set. I thought you were one of the more fun people on our movie, and we had so many fun people. But I look forward to seeing you on set all the time because we would just laugh at the stupidity of making things, that we're getting paid to do this stuff.
Well, we had
a dozen inside jokes.
Yeah, we
Greg.
Greg. When's Greg going to come on?
He's not. But Greg did a fantastic job. Greg was everywhere. That clip was everywhere.
It was so funny.
Yes. Blue Corelli wants to know, Zuckerman and Max, I guess, in light of your purchase, you did look at this. Zuckerman came in his new classic Range Rover. It's right outside. It's an 82. Max, you looked at it. What did you think? He wants to know what you think of that Range Rover.
Oh, of the Range? I like the look of those cars.
Yeah.
But what about why wouldn't you buy one?
Why wouldn't I? Well, I was looking at those and I was like, these are like real good looking cars. And I found a red one that I was like, man, this is really nice. And I did some research on it. And one of the things that it said was like they're borderline illegal because of how bad they are for the environment.
It's environmental hazard.
It was like, it's not even like an environmental hazard. Like they were classified as dangerous to the environment. And I went, oh, this is kind of a bummer.
That's kind of shocking to hear.
Yeah.
We won't drive it that much. We'll go
wait. How am I involved in this?
You're always involved.
Am I? Is that half my car?
Yeah.
He goes, I got a coffer. I bought another one. This is a week before he bought one before, a BMW 525, which I was really excited about. And he goes, I got another one from the same guy. I'm like, Zuckerman, stop spending my money. I go, I would have to sell my Series 2A. And then a guy messages me on this dumb app and goes, hey, would you ever sell your Series 2A?
Just like that. Manifestation.
Those, by the way, those Series 2As have just jumped. They've just jumped. If you want to buy that truck, you're gonna have to pay a little money. But if you want it, go ahead, text me. I'll sell it to you. Jump into this thing. I should drive it though first. Nick Kliss 02 wants to know, did Ford have anything to do with Schmidt's Ford Flex? I guess he drove that in New Girl.
Yeah, big time. They were a sponsor of the show for a while. I know this because they wanted me to do. I got offered a Super Bowl commercial one year, and it was like I think it was a Hyundai commercial, and it was going to be me and Gary Shandling, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest!" And you were like, "They were going to pay me some money."
Zuckerman commercials,
Super Bowl commercials,
real money.
And we were airing after the Super Bowl that year, and Ford would not let me do it because we were on right after the Super Bowl.
Oh. But you weren't being paid by Ford. Ford just had a deal with the show.
Yeah.
Got screwed.
Yeah.
You got screwed. Is that a case, Zuckerman?
In my mind,
Did Ford inject your penis?
they did.
That's why I'm here to talk to you.
I'm all tired. They tore my dick off.
I had a 4.5 hour boner in a Ford.
That's painful.
It was really bad. It was not great.
painful
I mean, like, look,
But that was and is TV. The sales department rules all these networks, and you can't. I would have deals lined up all the time, making deals directly with products, and then
maybe Ford is watching and they'll feel very bad for me.
Ford is the sponsor of this show, so we don't want them to feel bad. We love Ford.
What was
We're
the
big
story
fans.
you said when you had your show on Fox?
Yeah.
You got taken to the basement where that little man was.
What?
He was in the ad department, and he said anything anybody else said.
No, I was flown to New York. I was flown to New York to meet with the head of advertising for News Corp. Yes.
And what did he tell you?
He goes,
Aluminum is lighter than steel.
I'm going to inject your penis with a hit serum that's going to make your show. No, what he said was, no one will tell you this, but I'm going to tell you the truth about network television. I'm the power center for Fox. What the sales department, ad department says and goes, gets shows canceled or picked up, period, end of story. And then he started telling me stories of past Fox Entertainment talent that did not play ball. And those shows had been canceled.
And was that?
There was a little man in the basement.
That was Ned Beatty at the other end of the table.
No, it was, other folks that had late night shows there years and years before who, at the time it was affiliate television. So you had to play ball with the sales team. By the way, sales team was great. I mean, people in sales, my dad was a salesman and they're always the most fun people at the network, the salespeople. But you could not, he said this, he goes, I go, well, give me an example of something that gets my show canceled. He goes, okay. Well, your little joke show, you want to make a joke about a cheeseburger and then McDonald's is sponsoring the show. You're gone. You're canceled. He goes, if you're a hit, which I don't think you're going to be a big hit. If you're a hit, then maybe you get a couple of extra shows. But if you're this little late night show on Saturday night, a week show, and McDonald's is sponsoring, you make a hamburger joke. He goes, you're gone. No truer words have ever been spoken.
Spikes on the plane. No hamburger jokes.
No cheeseburger jokes. So no, instead I made Bill O'Reilly jokes and then got my ass canceled. That's how I got canceled. 3 seasons in. Just one too many Rupert Murdoch jokes from the Daily Show staff. And that was the end of that. What are your thoughts on the new 4Runner? Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah. I do a little bit. I mean, it's hard to tell. I haven't done too much research, but I feel like I've seen a couple of them and they've changed the body. And I don't love it. I'm really happy with my 21 Trail.
That's it.
Yeah. It feels like they've made it feels like they're heading in a direction which I'm not excited about, which maybe is looking like, I mean, I know they have so many different editions and versions of it. So fun.
I love that he's the 4Runner expert. Yeah. It's the expert nobody needs, but we have him. It's fantastic.
It does feel like, and this is what happens with so many of these cars where like they try to make them nicer and nicer and nicer until there's a point where it's too nice and it loses what the car was intended to be, which is simple and easy, and you just turn on, you go.
So what is it? What's peak year 4Runner for you? Like the perfect 4Runner, like 73 911 RS could be the best year for.
Oh, I'm not the one to answer this question.
No, you are. You're our only 4Runner expert. Go ahead. What is it for you?
Well, I love the one. I love 21. I love my 21. The original 4Runners are very, very cool. The first, like the first edition ones that I think went to like 89. Those are great. Those are very cool. You can take the back top off. They look awesome.
I love it. I owned a 4Runner. That was my first new SUV that I ever bought. I bought a red 4Runner and I drove that to Seinfeld. I'm a 4Runner fan. I'm
really intrigued by the new Land Cruiser that they make.
Yeah.
Which I have not driven yet.
I'm not sure they're selling a lot of them.
I saw a review of one and it looked it was one of the YouTube videos where they drive it around.
Right.
And it looked like, okay, this is a great first edition of this, but this could get really cool after they figure some shit out.
All right, and we're going to do Jerry Zuckerman, but before we go, lots of people are asking here, how does Max know Zuckerman? How does Zuckerman know Max? What is the story of Max and Zuckerman?
Coffee.
Coffee
brings people together.
Yeah. Where did you guys first have coffee? In Hollywood?
Ed's coffee shop.
You met at Ed's coffee shop and you struck up a conversation.
If you go to
you weren't afraid of this guy talking to you?
Ed's is gone now. There's no more Ed's. It's now a Pisana. It's now a Pisana.
Ah, that's a fantastic restaurant.
If you're in the same place day in and day out, eventually people like Max are not so afraid of me. They see me and then
you're very friendly. I mean, you just met Sabalenka. Everybody, you sit in these coffee shops in the morning and you chat with people.
I create community.
He does.
When you edit the show, people want to know, how did Zuckerman meet Max? And just cut to him going, I create community.
We're sitting
I can't believe that you talk to people though. You see, you don't like to go anywhere. You don't like to go to parties, but in the morning you're approachable.
Yeah, like a dog. I wake up happy and I go and I get, my coffee and I sit there and I'm a creature of habit. So I'm going to the same place at the same time every day. And then he starts going to the same place, same time every day. And then you start talking. And I probably said to him, hey, Max, or Grand Prix get a load of this guy.
How did you know his name?
I don't know. We got introduced.
I see.
And you would usually you would sit at like the counter and you would have your newspaper. And what were you eating at the time? You were
egg whites.
it was egg whites and a coffee.
Yeah.
And then at some point there was always like, he would look at his watch and he'd go, all right.
Yeah, and then he goes. Yeah. He's off to make the money.
Gotta make money.
I gotta make the money, and he slams the phone down.
Yeah, and then I remember, I think we talked about this last time, which is like there was one day we were like this. Can I show you something? And then he took me out to the back parking lot. And I was like, what's going on? And you had that white Porsche.
Yeah.
Wow.
My first GT3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I love that story.
Yeah, I've never seen you that excited.
It's a warm holiday story. We have to move on though. We have to do our final segment of the show. It's a brand new segment called Dear Zuckerclaus. Look at this special graphic I've had made. Dear Zuckerclaus is where we take real letters from Dear Abby and we have Zuckerman answer them instead. Ooh, and I have some hats here, guys. I have.
Please.
I have a nice
good
Christmas Santa hat. No, that's for you, Max. That's for you.
Okay.
That's for me. And for Zuckerclaus, I have a special black hat. A black Santa hat.
Krampus hat.
Yeah. I was going to buy 3, and then I was like, there must be a black Santa hat somewhere. And certainly, and sure enough, there was. All right. Letter number 1. Dear Zuckerclaus, every year for the last 15 years or so, my husband's sister has sent us a huge box of homemade cookies for Christmas. My husband is from a large family, and she does this for each of the family members. The problem is we don't eat cookies. Weight is a concern for both of us. I avoid sugar or sugar products, and I don't believe they are healthy. My sister-in-law is difficult, and everyone tiptoes lightly around the issue to avoid upsetting her. Evidently, even a carefully worded "thank you, but we can't consume them" note would cause family problems. I tried not sending an acknowledgement, but the cookies keep coming. Zuckerman, what is your suggestion?
Give them to some cookie eaters and send a thank you card. Why does this have to be a national emergency? It's a nice thing she made you cookies. Give them to the neighbor.
She thought not sending a thank you note would stop the cookies once a year.
Well, that's passive aggressive. I tell you what, I won't say thank you. She'll get the message. If you're not going to say anything, give them to someone else. Plenty of people like cookies.
Max, do you have any advice?
Yeah.
Why are you writing letters? Right?
This
is a real letter. This is a person who has a real problem.
You couldn't figure this out on your own?
You couldn't figure it out? Letter number 2. Dear Zuckerclaus, every Christmas, I get a holiday newsletter from a family member, which invariably includes a list of their accomplishments, expensive trips, and lots of photos. Nobody else in our family sends newsletters. Last December, I couldn't even read it because it made me so depressed. My siblings are spread out across the U.S. and have diverse lifestyles. Many of us also have personal and painful things going on in our lives, which we don't really want to discuss. The holidays are here, and I'm dreading this year's letter. Zuckerclaus, what do I do?
Like anything, throw it in the trash, avert your eyes. What's so hard? No one says you got to look.
They had to write a letter about this. Sir, you know what I think you ought to do? I think you need to write your own newsletter about your own personal tragedies and problems that you don't want to discuss, the things that are making you depressed.
Here's what's going on with me.
Here's what's really going on with me. Exactly.
My colostomy bag is clogged every other day.
Oh, wow. You went right to colostomy bag, Zuckerman.
Okay. If the picture of the other person's family, you
just trying to paint a picture.
Paint the picture. Deface their photograph. Have fun with it.
Put it in the shredder when it arrives. But I like the depressed newsletter idea. I think that could be really cool. Don't you? Just like, here's everything that's gone wrong. It's a little bit like a Festivus, a list of grievances. That's what I would do.
I hope you guys are having a nice Christmas. Here's what's going on with me.
Yeah.
There you go.
Number 1.
Look, the folks at home right now, some of them are experiencing a bad Christmas right now. That's why they're watching us.
Look how ridiculous we look.
Look great. What are you talking about?
These 3 hats.
One of us looks ridiculous.
Okay.
The other 2 look normal Santa Claus-y.
Oh, normal.
Yeah.
You too. Normal.
Letter number 3, Dear Zuckerclaus, I have a sister-in-law, Helen, who has appointed herself as the final word on all family events. No other relative has any input into when, where, what regarding any family celebration there can be. It's all her. If it's not her way, it's the highway. Oh, I wonder where he came up with that phrase. The biggest problem with Helen is she schedules everything on the date that fits her calendar without regard for anyone else's. For example, Christmas this year is scheduled in February because that's what worked best for her. As with everything, these are not negotiable if complied with. If not complied with, the offender is subject to 6 months of silent treatment and ghosting. How do I deal with this, Zuckerman?
It sounds like 6 months of silent treatment and ghosting is the preferred outcome for dealing with someone named Hell N. I mean, this is. Hey, you have your own Christmas. Let her have her February Christmas. She's clearly insane. And if she,
Or she's efficient.
yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree. If she's a problem and she wants to celebrate Christmas in February, go ahead. Do whatever you want.
Also, like 2 Christmases.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. A February Christmas. There's obviously more going on here.
How could you feel bullied by someone that wants to have Christmas February 26th?
I'll say, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll see you there.
Let's have 4th of July on the same day and get the rest of the year over with.
When do you,
right?
at what point do you craft your I'm not coming excuses? Like, I'm 2 days before, so I can punt that whole thing. I can say,
Right.
yeah, I'll be there. That's fine. And then the Wednesday before February Christmas.
Can you send a letter and say, can we push it
Yeah.
to June? It feels a little too close to actual Christmas.
Yeah.
So you kick it down the road till
Yeah.
the next Christmas.
Well, yeah, I mean, at least like let's break it up by at least 4 months, 5 months.
Bullied by a crazy person. That's very strange.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to show up for your Christmas?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's good news. Letter number 4. Dear Zuckerclaus, my mother-in-law is a horrible person who loves to create drama wherever she can. Last Christmas, we got both of our kids different gifts because one was a 13-year-old girl and one was a 10-year-old boy. But my mother-in-law decided to tell my daughter that she didn't get as many gifts as her brother and that we spent less money on her, basically trying to get our daughter to believe that we loved her less. We then had to deal with a crying 13-year-old on Christmas. I put my foot down and told my wife that I do not want this woman at our house next Christmas. My wife is completely against it and thinks I'm being incredibly cruel. Zuckerclaus, what do we do?
You married into this family? You thought you could marry into this family and it would be okay? You didn't know this before this Christmas? That's my opinion. You're stuck, buddy. You're stuck. You screwed yourself. You said I do.
There was enough evidence
There had to
beforehand.
be. There had to be.
I don't think he does that. I think writing this letter was part of his process of just like, you know what? I'm gonna write a letter, and that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, like he knew he wasn't backing out of anything. I think he
he's
was
feeling
just like,
bad.
yeah, he's feeling
Yeah.
bad, and he was just like, I'm gonna send this letter off.
Boy, he needs to go to that clinic. He needs
What
to
clinic?
put some lead, the lead in the pencil clinic. He's acting a little tired.
You think some
A little-
penile
a little-
injections are going to help this?
He needs some help in that department.
Yeah. Wow, I don't know how you got there. Colostomy bags.
I'm trying to tie the show together for you.
Oh, the
Harrison.
callback?
Yeah.
Black Santa hat guy? I've got some legal advice for you.
Oh, please.
I'm joking. And our final letter.
Take the top off. If you take this part off, it does look like one of those really orthodox hats.
As if the sun. As if the sun.
Do that to the camera, Zuckerman.
I must get home. The sun has gone down. I can't be doing this anymore.
Some Jewish humor there. Some Orthodox Jewish humor. Our final letter. My mother. It does look like that, Zucker.
I'll go back to it.
Put the.
There you go. There you
Here it is. We've got a lot of bugs here in the studio. My mother-in-law showed up to our holiday party in a sparkly white dress. It was brighter than mine, and I was jealous until she spilled coffee on it and then took the white dress off and tossed it in the trash. My best friend pointed out the designer label on the dress and couldn't believe that my mother-in-law had tossed this dress away. So the next day I removed the dress from the trash, took it to an amazing dry cleaner, and the dry cleaner removed the stain. Then on New Year's Eve, I don't have a lot to wear, so I decided to wear my mother-in-law's newly cleaned dress because I didn't think she would notice.
Oh, right.
But she did notice, and she demanded that I give back her, quote, stolen dress. I refused. My husband is embarrassed because I wore something out of the trash, and he isn't sure who the dress belongs to. Zuckerclaus, who does the dress belong to?
I think there's a more basic issue.
Okay.
These people drink too much. Clearly, all of this, the spilling of the coffee, the dress in the trash, the picking it out of the trash,
Yes.
this all revolves around excessive alcohol.
They need pre-alcohol,
consumption.
probiotic
Yeah.
drink. These things would not happen. So you think this is just drunken hoonery?
Yeah, these are all these people. These people need to get their lives under control.
Max?
I got lost 3 sentences in. I go, wait, the dress is in the one, and then it's who's.
So essentially, the mother-in-law came over in this beautiful dress, and the
She spilled coffee on it.
She was drunk.
the wife was jealous. But whatever was spilled on the dress, wine or coffee, the mother-in-law takes it off, puts it in the trash. And later on, the wife goes, "This is a really nice dress," takes it out of the trash, sends it to a dry cleaner and cleans it, and then wears it to the New Year's Eve party. And the mother-in-law sees her wearing her old dress that she had tossed away.
Also unintelligent.
Yeah, severe alcoholism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we've cleaned that up.
There you go.
Well, that's our show. I hope you've enjoyed our little holiday special here. Yes, Zuckerman? What?
The Wally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is Zuckerman's favorite Christmas story. It was told maybe a year ago by my brother, Wally Furston, who does cue cards for Saturday Night Live, and Seth Meyers. He couldn't be here today, obviously, because he did not want to be. He sent us a video, and we're going to watch it right now.
Hey, I'm Wally Furston, Spike's brother. So my dad used to hang out at his friend Myron Bloom's meat market. It was called Bloom's Meat Market. Pretty good. And he would hang out there during the day, play Crazy Eights, and annoy the customers. So one day during Christmas season, a woman walked in with her 5-year-old son, and Myron said, "Hey, you excited for Christmas?" And the boy said, "Yes." And he was like, "Do you want to meet Rudolph?" And the kid was like, "Yeah, I want to meet Rudolph." He was like, "Come on back with me." So Myron took the kid back to the meat locker and opened it up, and there was a full deer hanging upside down with blood dripping from his neck into his bucket. The kid screamed, ran back to his mother. Myron laughing hysterically, and my dad laughing hysterically. He laughed every time he told me that story, and he told it a lot of times. And I'm sure that kid now is mentally scarred for life.
There it is. There's Zuckerman's favorite story. You love that story. Myron Bloom, Max, was Zuckerman. He was my dad's Zuckerman, Myron Bloom. And you know how you try not to repeat your father's mistakes. I realized too late I did. I've got my own Myron Bloom.
At which point in your guys' relationship
Yes.
did you realize, Myron?
This was about a year ago. About a year ago. It really was deep in.
Wally tells a story, and I realize there's 2 misanthropic, misfit Jewish guys in West Bridgewater. His dad, known as Fats, and Myron, and they're both cigarette smokers and degenerate gamblers. And Myron probably thinks, here's this kid with this Christmas stuff. Christmas is a screwed holiday for us. They look at them with all their good cheer and whatnot. Let's pop this kid's bubble right now.
And show him the eviscerated bleeding deer. There's your Rudolph.
There's your Rudolph.
And there's
Have
your
a Merry Christmas.
And there's your Spike's Car Radio. If you want to advertise on Spike's Car Radio, get in touch with Club Road Associates. You look at their number and contact. It's right down there. And that's our show. Anything you want to promote, gentlemen, before we go? Do it quick. Here we go.
We're good.
You're good. You get in an accident, you talk to this guy. You need to laugh, you talk to this guy. I'm Spike First. We'll see you next week on Spike's Car Radio.